What's up, you guys? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. So Epic Panel, that is Epic Panel without an S, on Instagram, they are continuing their series Facts or Controversy. And basically they are putting out a list of opinions for us fanboys, us nerds, to go into the comment section and argue, debate, and talk about whatever opinions they list on their page. So instead of me going to the comment section on their page, I might as well just talk about it on my YouTube channel. I mean, that's what it's for. And you guys come in my comment sections and debate about whatever opinions I agree or disagree with. So that's what we're going to do for this video. But before we get started, theme song. All right, opinion number one says, Superman is not boring. I agree. This is fact. Superman is not boring. I'm kind of confused on why people would think Superman is boring. The only aspect of Superman that you can consider to be boring would be his animated show that came out in the late 90s. Early 2000s under the DC AMU. The overall show is not boring, but there are a couple of episodes that lag. I think Superman was written to be way more interesting under Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but the Superman the animated show, like I said, it's not a boring show, but there are a couple of episodes where it's just like, okay, I don't need to rewatch this again. But Superman as a character is not boring. I don't think his comics are boring. I don't think his movies are boring, whether it's the James Gunn version or the Zack Snyder movie. I don't find Superman to be, he's not a boring character. So I'm very confused as to why anybody would consider Superman to be boring. I will say this. It really gets under my skin when a lot of writers or creators, they are fixated on telling stories if Superman was brainwashed and if Superman turned to a life of crime, he turned out to be evil. Like, I really feel like when they go down that route, they go all in. It's like they are obsessed with making Superman be evil and have him commit evil activity. For you guys to spend so much energy in making Superman be an off-the-wall evil character, where is that energy with him being a hero? It's like you guys make him way more valuable or interesting as a villain than you do as a hero. I don't understand. Superman is the superhero. And if you as a creator and a writer cannot come up with interesting storylines in order to make Superman's lore be interesting for the audience to engage with, then you need to choose another career because that's your job. But the overall sentiments of Superman being boring is absolutely not true. I don't think that Superman is boring at all. He's like literally one of the best superheroes of all time. Let's move on. All right, the next opinion says, Marvel villains are better written. Marvel villains are better written. Okay, so if you're new here, I am an X-Men nerd. Like 90% of the comics that I have are strictly X-Men. I do have a couple of Avenger comics. I do have a couple of Justice League comics, but I am a huge X-Men fan. And I can say that the X-Men villains are just beautiful. From Mystique, Magneto, Sabretooth, Mr. Sinister, Apocalypse, Exodus, Lady Deathstrike, Omega Red, William Stryker, Bastion, the Purifier. Like, I love the X-Men villains. They do their damn job in terms of bringing that heat to the X-Men. Now, as far as Marvel's overall villains, the rogue gallery for Marvel it's a solid list of villains. You know, you have Spider-Man and his Sinister Six, or with Green Goblin, or with Dr. Octopus. Then you have Fantastic Four. Their arch nemesis is Doctor Doom. Then you have Captain America and the Red Skull, Iron Man with Crimson Dynamo. And then you also have the whole entire Masters of Evil. You have Enchantress. You have Ultron. You have Baron Zemo. There are so many good-ass villains on Marvel. I would have to agree. Now, if you disagree, I can understand why you disagree because of Batman's. Batman has the most legendary list of supervillains. The Gotham Rogue Gallery is literally iconic. That's not up for debate. Like, Batman's supervillains are the best. Now, the issue is, are the rest of the DC heroes, are their supervillains the best? Batman's supervillains are the standard. But what about Wonder Woman's supervillains? There's been a whole bunch of conversation for the past couple of years about who is Wonder Woman's arch nemesis and who are the people a part of Wonder Woman's Rogue Gallery. She doesn't have a Rogue Gallery compared to Batman. Same thing with Green Lantern. Same thing with The Flash. Same thing with Green Arrow. Like, they do have a list of villains that they can always fight. They do have arch nemesis, but are those villains just as legendary as Batman's Rogue Gallery? The answer is no, in my opinion. You know, but with Marvel, the X-Men's villains, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the Avengers, all of their villains, they can stand toe-to-toe with each other in terms of notoriety, in terms of popularity. But all of DC's villains, they're not going to do the same. Like, for instance, we have Legion of Doom, but Legion of Doom would suck if none of Batman's villains was a part of Legion of Doom. You get what I'm saying? And of course, Superman has a very legendary rogues gallery as well. You have Darkseid, you have Brainiac, you have Lex Luthor, but it's just those three. Now, there are other villains that Superman fight, but they're not on the same level as those three. Batman's villains, they are all on the same level because they are just goated. Now, however, Batman is just one hero that has a goated rogues gallery. Marvel, on the other hand, each of their heroes or the heroes team, they have a bomb-ass rogue gallery. So yeah, I'm going to say that Marvel's villains are written better, but I will say this with Marvel. I am so sick and tired of Marvel putting heroes against each other with storylines like Civil War, storylines like X-Men Schism, or Avengers versus X-Men, or Planet Hulk, where he's fighting every single superhero. Marvel has a big obsession with having the superheroes fight, and it's just like, we have villains. Utilize the villains and stop having the superhero teams fight. They don't do that in DC. I'm not saying that the heroes of DC never fight, but what I am saying is it's not a big over-dramatized event compared to Marvel. I am so sick of Marvel having their heroes fight each other. I just said that Marvel has bomb-ass villains, that they are written well compared to DC, so then utilize them. I don't want to see storylines of heroes fighting each other. I want to see storylines of heroes fighting these well-written villains. So that's my own stick with Marvel. Let's move on. All right, the next opinion says, world finest are the greatest duo in all of fiction. I am going to agree. And the main reason why is I cannot think of another duo that is on the same level of legendary status compared to Batman and Superman. I can't think of it. Even with the X-Men. You know, there's not even like a duo that's on their level unless it's like a couple, you know, like a Gambit or Rogue, or a Scott and Jean, or in my preference, Scott and Emma. But in terms of like a duo, like with Superman and Batman, the X-Men doesn't have that. The Avengers, they don't have that either. You can probably say like Captain America and Iron Man, they're not a duo. They're just lame. They're just really lame. So yeah, Superman and Batman, they really are the world's finest duo. They are actually number one. I can't think of a number two, nor do I care to. But I will say this. I hate storylines where they have Batman and Superman fighting each other. I guess this is just a me thing. I don't like heroes fighting each other. Like I just said, Marvel is always making these big grand story arcs of the heroes getting into it with each other. I just do not like heroes fighting each other. And when they do storylines of Batman and Superman fighting each other, first of all, it's offensive because Batman is a human being with a whole bunch of gadgets. He should not be going toe to toe with Superman. That is the most stupidest idea and concept ever. Batman cannot beat Superman. He should not be using his wits to outsmart Superman when they are supposed to be fighting one-on-one. But they cannot fight one-on-one because Superman is super strong and Batman is a single human being. So this whole Batman with prep time, this whole Batman and his contingency plans, having kryptonite in his back pocket, no. Just stop having them fight each other. I'm not saying they should avoid conflict. I don't mind an argument between Superman and Batman.
We know he used you, humiliated you, brainwashed you. Cry me a river. We have to take action, so I suggest you get over it.
Whether it's a battle of egos or a battle of ideologies or a battle of morality in terms of completing a mission their own individual way, and maybe their own individual ways clash against each other, but keep it as an argument. Don't have them fight. I hate seeing Superman fight Batman. And I also hate when they allow Batman to get a one-up over Superman, because it's like, come on, what are we doing? It's offensive. Superman is like a big, powerful being. He should not be taken down by a billionaire in a bat costume. What the fuck are we doing? Absolutely not. Just stop having them fight each other. Like I said, I just don't like superheroes fighting each other. I can't stand it. But they are the world's finest duo, and I cannot name another duo besides Batman and Superman that are just as legendary as those two. With that being said, let's move on. All right, this next opinion says, Deathstroke has a 50% chance of beating Batman in the fist fight. You know, one thing that aggravates me is this conversation of Batman versus Deathstroke, because we have yet to see a full-blown battle of Batman versus Deathstroke. Now, mind you, I do not have a lot of Batman comics, so I don't know if there has been a full-blown battle between Batman and Deathstroke, but if it hasn't been, make it happen. Like, let's just put this conversation to bed. Make Batman fight Deathstroke, and don't make it like a couple of seconds. Make them go at it. You know, I'm not going to say have them fight to the death, but let Batman get a couple rounds with Deathstroke. Put it in an animated show or an animated movie. Like, we had Batman fight the Shredder of all people. The Shredder. I'm talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' #1 arch nemesis. If y'all can have Batman fight the Shredder, then have Batman fight Deathstroke on the same level. Let's just put this conversation to bed. Can Batman beat Deathstroke, or can Deathstroke beat Batman? I would like to see it. If there is an actual comic book of Deathstroke and Batman fighting one-on-one against each other and it doesn't last for like one panel, please drop the title, drop the number in the comment section so I can go look it up, and I will come back and give you my review on it. But if it doesn't exist, make it happen. Make Batman and Deathstroke fight each other. If DC decides to pump out another animated show or another animated movie, give us a scene of Batman and Deathstroke fighting each other. I would like to see it. I think Batman will beat Deathstroke's ass, but at the same time, Deathstroke doesn't play no games. So, yeah, just make it happen. Let's move on. This next opinion reads, Quicksilver died way too soon. I agree. I most definitely agree. What was the point of putting Quicksilver in Avenger Age of Ultron if y'all were going to kill him off? And it's not only the idea of you guys killing him off, it's the way that you killed them off.
You didn't see that coming.
Quicksilver is a whole ass mutant with super speed. If you are a mutant, you are born with the S gene. And the S gene has so much potential in terms to how powerful you are. So you're not going to sit in my face and play in my face and say that Quicksilver could not have saved Hawkeye and that child from all those flying bullets. That was such a waste. I was pissed about that. Now, a lot of people will say, you know, the Avengers, the MCU Avengers, their concept is motivation by somebody's death. Like, when you think about it, in the first Avengers movie, the whole entire team was motivated because of Agent Coulson's death. So they're pretty much saying that Wanda needed somebody to die in order to be a hero on the Avengers. The purpose of the Avengers is to avenge somebody. You have that motivation to be like, I just witnessed a death and I don't want anybody else to die like my loved one. That's what people say to justify Quicksilver's death. I think that concept is so f***ing stupid. It was just wasted potential. It's so many things you could have done with Quicksilver. You know, Quicksilver is insecure. Quicksilver is dramatic. Quicksilver is hot-headed. He would have provided a lot of internal drama if he would have officially joined the Avengers. Like, can you imagine Quicksilver in Captain America Civil War? He would have been giving Iron Man and Captain America the business, and not in terms of like fighting, but in terms of like making his voice known. Like, no, I don't think this is right. I think what I'm doing is right. And both of y'all are full of shit. Like, it was just such wasted potential with Quicksilver. We were robbed. Quicksilver and Wanda, they are two of the most legendary Avengers. And y'all put them in this movie and killed off Quicksilver. Why? We should have seen more from the dynamic of Wanda and Pietro. There was no reason for you guys to kill off Quicksilver. So yeah, I agree with this opinion. Quicksilver was eliminated way too soon. Way too soon. Let's move on. All right, the next opinion says, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse are good movies, but overrated as... Overrated? How? I disagree with this. First of all, yes, both those movies are bomb as hell, and I cannot wait for the third movie. But what's overrated about the Miles Morales movies? There hasn't been a box office failure. The anticipation for the third movie is there. The soundtrack for both movies are just amazing. They were also Grammy nominated. Shout out to Metro Boomin. These movies are a success because people genuinely love them. The storylines in these movies, peak. The acting, peak. The animations, peak. I love watching the fight scenes of Miles Morales. He's able to do things within animation that you're not going to get in a live action movie. Miles Morales in these two movies, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, are just A1 movies. Peak. What's overrated about them? I feel like if somebody is calling the movies overrated, they are basing this off of what fans are saying on like Reddit or Twitter or YouTube or Discord or any type of nerd spaces, because there's nothing overrated about these movies. Now, you can make the argument that Miles Morales is an overrated character, because I've been seeing a lot of sentiments surrounding that, and people believe that he is overrated because it's like, why do you have so many powers? You're supposed to be Spider-Man. You're supposed to have the same exact powers as Peter Parker. They got Miles Morales shooting lightning and doing a whole bunch of stupid shit. And it's just like, stop adding powers to Miles Morales and keep him as a simplified Spider-Man. You know, so a lot of people do not enjoy Miles Morales comics for that reason. Now, of course, there's always going to be a bunch of haters, people saying that there's only one Spider-Man and it's Peter Parker and Miles Morales will never be the real Spider-Man. I don't give a goddamn about them. If you're hating on a fictional character so bad because he's black, whatever. You're not going to rile me up. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But I personally do not think that Miles Morales is an overrated character or an unnecessary character. And I don't think these movies are overrated as well. I believe that stems from people being upset or annoyed and believing that Miles Morales is an overrated character. But as far as the movies, I'm going to have to disagree on that. Both those movies are goated, and I cannot wait for the third flick to drop. Let's move on. This opinion says, this has to be the biggest load of bull in the entire movie, and it is a picture of Captain America holding back Thanos and his glove. I am going to agree. One of the main things that pisses me off about Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame are these moments with Captain America. It's similar to what I said earlier about Batman not being able to beat Superman, that there shouldn't even be an idea or a concept worth exploring. So it's the same situation as here. Captain America, who has no powers whatsoever, yes, he has the super soldier serum, but why is Captain America being able to hold back Thanos' glove with all these Infinity Stones in it? That doesn't make an ounce of sense. Y'all put that scene in there for dramatic effect to give Captain America a big boss moment. And it's like, no, what the absolutely not. It's the same thing that pisses me off about the final battle in Avengers Endgame. Why are we seeing a one-on-one battle between Captain America and Thanos? Y'all gave Captain America the ability to lift up Thor's hammer and actually fight Thanos. And I'm just sitting here like, what, why? The main reason why this moment annoys me is because I wanted to see a battle between the Hulk and Thanos. I wanted the Hulk to cut loose and really get his lick back from when Thanos whooped his ass during the first 5 minutes of Avengers Infinity War. But y'all didn't do that because y'all wanted to give Captain America a big grand moment. Why is Captain America having a one-on-one battle against Thanos? Why? I can understand Captain America fighting Thanos' lackeys, but actually fighting Thanos and actually acting like he's doing damage towards Thanos and acting like he's stronger than Thanos with him holding back the glove? Why? Just why? That was just some straight up bullshit. So yeah, I agree with this take 110%. Let's move on. All right, now the last take says, animated superhero movies are still great, but the shows aren't as good anymore. Okay. Now, in terms of DC and Marvel, Marvel does not release animated movies. They used to in the past, but they don't release animated movies. So I don't understand like what's being compared here, but Marvel doesn't have animated movies. I mean, unless you want to count Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, unless you want to count that. But out of those two, what other animated movies does Marvel have? They don't do animated movies anymore like they used to back in the day. And as far as animated shows, I mean, X-Men 97, that's just goated. There's nothing you can say terrible about X-Men 97, and I can't wait for season 2 to get here. And then what else do they have? They have, I guess, Eyes of Wakanda, and then they have Marvel Zombies, and then they have What If. But Marvel doesn't have a lot of animated shows, and that's been my overall critique with Marvel in terms of Disney Plus. Stop using Disney Plus to pump out live action projects and pump out more animation. There's no reason why the Fantastic Four does not have an animated series in 2026, especially after First Steps. Now, we should have gotten a Fantastic Four animated series. Now, and then with Avengers, you guys cancel Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes for some stupid ass Avengers Assemble show based off the MCU. Why? And then with Spectacular Spider-Man, that was canceled. And then y'all did this whole Ultimate Spider-Man show that sucked as well. Why? That's the problem with Marvel as well. They are always putting out goated animated shows, but these shows will not even last for more than 2 seasons. A lot of them got canceled after 1 season. But it's like, why? Absolutely why. Marvel needs to put out more animated projects. And just like X-Men 97, these animated projects do not need to take place in the MCU. Because What If is based off the MCU. Marvel Zombies, MCU. Eyes of Wakanda, MCU. It's just like, okay, can we please stop with the brand synergy bullshit? Just give us animated projects and stop basing it off the MCU and base it off the actual comics. Let's do that. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes was based off the comics, but then y'all canceled it for some Avengers Assemble MCU bullshit. So that's my whole thing with Marvel. As far as DC, I don't know what people are complaining about. Maybe the Tomorrowverse, but I stand alone in saying this. I love the Tomorrowverse. I love those movies. Are all the movies great? Oscar-winning films? No. But I still enjoy them. I like DC's animated films. Even the ones that y'all hate, I will rewatch them over and over and over again. DC actually needs to continue to create more animated films. Now, as far as animated projects, what does DC have out right now? I guess you can say Creatures Commandos and Teen Titans Go and the Harley Quinn show, but I don't watch either one of those shows. Those shows are not for me. I'm pretty sure I'm not the target market to be supporting these shows, so I don't think I'm missing out on anything and don't care either. But let's be clear, DC is goated compared to animated shows. I mean, we have Batman, the animated series, we have Justice League, we have Justice League Unlimited, we have Teen Titans, we have The Batman, we have Green Lantern, the animated series. It's so many bomb ass animated shows under DC. And honestly, DC needs to continue with it. Give us more animated projects. We already know that the Tomorrowverse kind of finished with the Crisis on Earth trilogy, but I don't care. I want more animated projects from DC. I will always be a fan of DC's animated whatever, except the bullshit that's out right now. Like the Teen Titans and Creature. I don't care about none of that bullshit, but I'm talking about the goated shows like Static Shock and Teen Titans and Young Justice, you know, those shows, the Justice League and the Justice League Unlimited, those shows. DC has such an amazing history with pumping out peak television. And they just need to go back to that. So DC just needs to continue doing what they have been doing for decades. Marvel needs to start back prioritizing animations because they stopped doing that probably like in like 2007, 2008. And they've never gone back from it. Like X-Men 97 is the only goated animated show out of Marvel in the past decade, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Anyway, you guys, that was the last opinion. Make sure you guys support and follow Epic Panel on Instagram. They post content like this all the time. It's for us, the nerds, the fanboys of DC and Marvel, so we can have conversation and enjoy these properties together. Even if we're debating, bitching, and fighting in the comment sections about it. But let me know your opinion on my opinions. Sound off in the comment sections. You guys always do. I want to hear what you guys got to say. Bring on the paragraphs. Let's have good ass conversation. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next flick, the next video. Peace.